So you have no doubt seen over the past what past day or so that everyone is talking about, oh my god, how is Kemi Badenoch so popular? Why is Kemi Badenoch so popular? Oh my god, Kemi Badenoch is so popular. Like, honestly, those have been the stories. And of course, where is this coming from? Well, it is, of course, coming from none other than, of course, Conservative Home, because they always do these leadership, conservative cabinet leadership tables. What do you think to these, to our, to the people in cabinet? What do you think to them? Let us know. And this is, as we've always said, reaches very, very deep into the non-parliamentary party. So this is really reaching into like the Conservative Party membership. And this has been going on, and quite successfully, for quite some time. And it's why we cover, and I keep on looking, from time to time at Conservative Home and making sure that I keep an eye on what's going on, because they have been incredibly accurate with a lot of these polls. Incredibly accurate with a lot of these polls about leadership contests, who's going to be in and out of cabinet, especially during the Johnson years, which is quite surprising. But yeah, some interesting things going on here. And we're going to get into, in a moment, why is Kemi Badenoch perceived to be, so popular? Why is she so popular with the membership? And more importantly, as also you well know, and I've been hearing the reporting, Kemi Badenoch, really popular, Rishi Sunak, incredibly unpopular, even with his own party. So this does not spell good times for Rishi Sunak as at all. So we'll be getting on to maybe something like that later in the week. But for the time being, we're going to have a look at this and this cabinet league table, try to explain to you why Badenoch is so popular and why, shockingly, we'll get into a moment, someone on the cabinet league table, I really don't believe that they should be there in that position, but we'll get to that in a moment. So, but before we do get to that, there are, of course, links down below to the Patreon page, the one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course the Pony Club down below as well. Where we give sort of do a weekly video for all the members, including the Patreon people as well. So do remember to go check that out. And of course, as always, let's crack on into this. So this is their cabinet league table. And oh my word, as you can see, Kemi Badenoch storming ahead, 56.2%, with only Johnny Mercer and Penny Mordaunt trying to catch up. I mean, they're almost level pegging. Johnny Mercer's on 42.8, and Penny Mordaunt's on 42.0. So Johnny Mercer, though, surprising, almost out of the gates, coming from nowhere. But Kemi Badenoch, why is she there? Why is she at the top of this leadership table? Well, partly it's because if you followed our, the stuff that we've done on this channel, whenever we've talked about Kemi Badenoch, it's not been in the best of lights. It's been her screwing up, annoying her own parliamentary party by not having the bonfire of regulations. So time and time again, in her own, like the MPs, like the Westminster party, the other sort of part of the Conservative Party really does not like her. In fact, a big faction really does not like her, especially the right wing, who have explicitly said to her and publicly that she will never be Prime Minister. So whether they might change their minds on that, in being in opposition, who knows? But it is, I think, if you wanted to sort of see likely who was going to be the next leader of the Conservative Party, at the moment, if you were going to put money on it, you would not go wrong if you put money on Kemi Badenoch. I would be really hard to sort of, say that is not a good, bet to put on if you were going to do that. But why is she so popular? Why has she got this? Well, it's the Liz Truss effect. At the moment, she's the Trade Secretary. And this means she gets to go and do all these, fantastic, business sort of things, be at business events, and have all these fantastic photo shoots going, oh look, I'm over here trying to do, a trade deal. Meanwhile, it's also worth reminding you, she's the business secretary as well. And I will tell you this now, there are a lot of businesses out there who have had meetings with her, hate her, said that she does not understand what they are trying to get across to communicate to her. When they are trying to sort of communicate really basic business concepts, they don't understand. She doesn't appear to have been briefed about the business. She only really cares about being there for the photo opportunity. So on the business side, she's really failing. But of course, the international trade part, she's loving. She's getting to do all these photo opportunities. And this is exactly why Liz Truss became so popular within the party. Because if you look back at these, you will see Liz Truss right at the top of the polls. Why? Because she's doing all these photo ops saying, oh, look what a good job I'm doing, trying to get this, trade deal with this country or do this. That's why she is so popular. Not only that, of course, she is a avid culture war warrior. That's how she sort of became known and got her name in the first place, being a very sort of avid culture warrior. Even now, that is still sort of her main thing, her bread and butter, being sort of, somewhat, popular known. Oh, Kemi Badenoch will say the things that, no one else dares say, that type of, popularity. But yeah, that's why she's so popular. But I'm just going to go back to the league table again, because, oh my word, oh my word, so many of them, so many of them in negative ratings. So starting off at Mark Harper, 0.8, Laura Trott, minus 2.4, James Cleverly, minus 3.1, Simon Hart, minus 5.4, Lord Cameron, minus 7.8, Andrew Mitchell, minus 9.4, Oliver Drowden, minus 12, Michael Gove, minus 14, constantly been in the negative for quite some time, but he just gets even worse every time. Richard Holden, minus 15.6, Jeremy Hunt, minus 22.7, Rishi Sunak, this is the big one, minus 27.7, and then Michael Tomlinson, minus 43.1. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. And this stuff just so much bad news for Rishi Sunak. Like, his own party membership just does not like him at this point. And he has just gone down and down and down and down, always constantly in the polls. This does not bode well for him. And, last week we talked about Conservative Home from their our favorite T-boy Will here said, oh yeah, prepare for a leadership contest after the local elections. That now I can very much see. I can very really see that happening. But even that back then I said, yeah, it's probably going to happen. I think the local elections on May the 2nd is going to have a lot of consequences for Rishi Sunak and the party. And he will, at some point, probably have to defend himself against some sort of leadership challenge, depending on how serious that all becomes. But, of course, I did say there was someone on this list who I didn't really think deserved to be there. And that's, of course, Cameron. Why is Cameron at minus 7.8? Considering the fact, bear in mind, you've got Kemi Badenoch, who is perceived to be, doing a good job, when you've actually got David Cameron. And again, I know David Cameron, we're praising him, shock horror, but hey, he's doing somewhat of a good job being, the foreign secretary. He's not having any major screw-ups. He's navigating stuff especially well, especially trying to get, aid sorted out to Ukraine, going over to America and, meeting with them. Yeah, it didn't turn out that well, but that will have put on a lot of pressure onto the Republican Party to do that. So, yeah, there was a lot of worth in him doing that and him going there to do that. So don't say that it wasn't, successful. It put pressure on them. In fact, this week we have heard that they are now going to sort of, introduce some sort of, triple package for the Ukraine, Ukraine, Taiwan, and of course Israel as well. Now, say what you will about the others, in Israel, of course, getting aid, but at least finally we can maybe see that very much needed aid going to Ukraine. So, hey, who knows what will happen there on that, but hopefully that will go through. But anyway, that's the cabinet league table. That's how it's all sort of shaping up, with Kemi Badenoch at the top, Rishi Sunak plummeting just even worse. And of course, as I said, David Cameron, someone, when you compare like Badenoch to Cameron, let's take all the rhetoric out and just look at their job. Are they doing a good job? And ultimately, Badenoch is not really doing a good job in her cabinet position. Cameron, on the other hand, is doing a good job. He's doing exactly what he should do as foreign secretary. And I've said this before, he makes the rest of the party look incredibly bad by comparison. He's making the rest of the cabinet look incredibly bad by comparison because he's actually competent at doing his job. But apparently not to the rest of the non-parliamentary Conservative Party. But hey, there you go. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Leave a comment on what you think is going on down below here. Do you have your own thoughts as to why Kemi Badenoch is so popular? I'd love to know. So, as always, do leave a comment down below. Do remember to click the like and share button on your way out. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.